Hey, how's it going? My name is Tyler Stanley. We are doing our presentation to display our Budgeter 5000 app that myself and Jonathan created. Just to go into myself really quick, I am a software engineering major in my last 2 semesters of school. I am married and I have 2 children. Jonathan, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Jonathan Sarine. I'm also a software engineering major. I'm a sophomore at BYU Idaho, doing it totally online here. And yeah, excited to talk about this Budgeter 5000 app that we decided to create.
So I guess just to go into the our thoughts behind why we wanted to make this application. You know, we're still relatively young, and we're trying our best to learn how to deal with finances and how to, so we can best provide for our families as we get older and we have real jobs after school. And we both thought that a big issue for a lot of people is budgeting. So we thought if we could make a budget app that could help a person easily keep track of their income and their expenses, and they can change all these things on the go, then they can more easily keep a well balanced budget.
Yeah, I think that was it. I know I've used Excel for this kind of stuff, and we wanted to make something a little bit more bright and fun and something you could access on any computer. Excel's actually getting into that now with like how Google Docs will do Google Docs. But this was our kind of take on a budgeter app that you can access online from any computer, get your budgets, and as well as budget not just for 1 month but multiple months at a time. And
Yeah, you could actually plan out the
yeah,
whole
and
year.
that
I
seemed a
mean,
great idea.
essentially. Um,
Right.
so just diving into it really quick, we have here at the start we have our login. Essentially, we have the web page, the app hosted on a web page via Firebase, something that Jonathan set up, and it's we have logins. You can just register right here. I've already registered, but just to show like it already says right here the email is already in use, and so it avoids duplicate accounts. And we have that all set up through the web host to handle that information.
You also see the forgot password works as well. If you forget your password, that's all through the app or through Firebase. It takes care of that.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is a lot of help for kind of. We had to implement it, obviously, but the having that resource is very nice. So the first thing we do is we click the login button right here, and I'm showing it as it would look on a phone. I have it under the mobile size right now. So we click login. We have a little animation because obviously we're trying to display our knowledge of the code topics to the furthest extent we can. So we try to make sure we added a little load animation there. And here, the application actually has an internal date checker, and it will automatically put you inside whatever month you're in. Jonathan, do you want to go ahead and talk a little bit about what we got going on with the incomes and such?
Yeah. So one of the things that we really wanted to do with the each input there you see that are all started out at they're initialized at 0. We wanted your income and expenses and your balance to all update immediately. So if you typed in salary any number, I think the event we use is key up. We decided on,
Yes, that's right.
and that will all right. Okay, and that will update your income balance, your expense balance, and the actual balance at the very bottom, which takes into account income and expenses. Another thing you can do with that is you can hide or show
Excuse
any of
me,
these little
sorry.
sections. So like if you click on that little arrow, And is the arrow flipping around for you? I can't see.
It's not flipping, no.
No? Huh.
But
Well, we found a bug.
oh, that's all right. So it works like it should.
Yeah, that's right. Um, and another thing is, yeah, if you were to hide one of those sections, it all of a sudden it recalibrates the income, expense, and balance again, and only takes into account the sections that are shown. So that was kind of fun. We just had to implement in the code that it would check in an if statement if that input is visible or not by accessing the style properties of it.
And this is an example of a transform, correct?
Um,
With this
the
button
the
changing
yeah,
the.
the arrow is
Yes,
the
that's
arrow
what I
is a
thought.
transform.
Okay, that's
Uh,
what I thought.
but the showing and hiding is just I think we just set the we probably could have made it actually I think the transition it won't work for display because I just set the display to block or none when it's hidden.
Gotcha, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of different functionality that we add here. So like what's great about this is you can kind of, if you do have a spouse, another spouse with an income, but you kind of want to see what if my wife needs to stop working because she's about to have a child. So what would our budget look like without her income? And so you can easily just kind of remove that income for a short time without actually deleting it altogether. You can just kind of hide it. So I think that's a nifty little feature.
Yeah, yeah. Scrolling down a little bit, we have another section where you can create your own sections. So if you had something that you were just kind of wanting to play with, maybe you make an expense section that's like, I don't know, adventure or something, and you want to say that one of your subcategories for that is going to be travel or something you're trying to see if you can work it into your budget. You can go ahead and add that section and it'll show up there. And now you can use that feature of hiding and showing to kind of see this is what it would be like with it, this is what it'd be like without it, and better budget that way.
Yeah, we really wanted it to be customizable. We wanted to provide as many customization options because people spend money on a large amount of different things. So we didn't want to limit a person to standardized categories. So and if by chance they do want to remove it, like they're not going to travel at all in the month of April, we just add this delete so they can remove it entirely if they don't even want it to be a tabulation at all.
And it'll actually, and the app will remember your sections from month to month. So a section you add to April is just for April, and then you can hit save, and then when you switch to another month, then you got a whole nother month that you can work with.
Yep. That's absolutely right. And then I obviously wanted to show off our code topic knowledge the best we can, so we added some more customization just for the app. Some fun like sliders, so depending on the picture, you can have more or less transparency of the background as I'm displaying here, and you can even change the background image to another image URL if you desire. And we even had the option to undo it if you wanted to essentially go back to this ocean view that we have. We can change the background red, green, blue texture to literally, make it however you want it to look. I mean,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was kind of a fun thing to do. That was basically setting up a lot of it was an on-change event. Actually, I think it wasn't on-change because you got to click outside the mouse for the on-change to trigger. It was I forget what the event is called. Input, I believe. So when that range input is receiving input from the user, it triggers a function to go ahead and find the, well, it has to loop through each of those sections, which I found using get element by class, get elements plural by class name, and then you loop through that array of, well, it's actually an object of those sections, and then change the style property to the RGBA settings that the user is choosing with those sliders. So that was really fun to implement, to try and think about how to make that work and be updated immediately so the user could see exactly what was going on.
And that essentially is our app. We don't want to go on too long, and try to keep it as concise as we can. There are a lot of features and things that we kind of skimmed over, but I'm sure that as you go ahead and test out the application yourself, you'll be able to see the work and effort that was put into it. I really appreciate the time that you spend watching this video, and thank you for all that we've learned this semester.
Yeah, thank you so much for watching.
Bye bye.